Denton Community Television, operated by the Mayborn School of Journalism, the University of North Texas.
Follow your dreams.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller, and welcome to The Other Side. Created this show to bring on area musicians, and today I have a very special guest, Eric Keys. Eric, good to have you here.
How you doing, buddy? Good
Appreciate
to see
you being here.
Thanks for having me.
You have a new CD out, and you've been doing a lot of work here lately. You played at the Jazz Fest this weekend.
Well, we were invited to play at the Jazz Fest by Ray Hare, the president of the Musicians Union, great guy, but we had a gig in Austin that day.
Oh, yeah.
At the Scoot Inn, so we couldn't take him up on it, but it would have been great. But we were already at the Abbey Inn that Friday night, so it would have been 2 Denton shows in 3 days, so probably good that we put the rubber to the road and got out of town. And
Yeah, played in Austin.
played in Austin. It's been focusing on a lot of getting out of town, too.
Yeah, yeah. And you have a new video that's been put together.
Yeah, we filmed a video for a single that's going to be on my new album, which is called Back in Blue. But it's a song. It's a song called Words of a Song, and a lot of people had mentioned to us that song kind of had something to it, and that we should, revisit it and record it with a live band and really get a cool single going with that. Release it as a single. So then once that happened, I got in my mind that we should do a video, and me and Mike had been talking about it, and so we started about a year ago, just getting in our minds what we wanted to do. And it's amazing when you can picture something. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
We started just breaking it down into steps, and the first step was to go down to Austin and find a location.
Yeah, yeah.
And we did, right by Tommy's Drum Shop. And
Oh, really?
There's an old graffitied out park that is just very photogenic and very, it almost looks like you're in LA or something. It doesn't
really?
look like you're in Austin.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we decided that would be a great spot, and we had a gig down there, and my drummer and my keyboardist were already there. So me and my bass player jumped down in the car, and we went and we shot the first round of stuff. And that went really well and kind of started the momentum on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And subsequently we made several trips, back and forth. And a lot of time it was just watching the weather. Are we gonna be able to do this?
Yeah, perfect day weather-wise.
Yeah, and then we finished it up around the 360 bridge, and then we built a story into it that involved Melissa, my assistant, and it worked out great. It was a good video, and so I think you guys will enjoy it when you get to see it.
I look forward to seeing that. We're going to have that on the show, so stay tuned for that. You have quite a history, Eric. I was reading about you in the Wikipedia, and so you graduated from UNT, and then
I did.
You had Riddle Me This,
Right.
a band at that time, and then somehow something about the Batman imagery or something, and then it's got pulled into MTV with Kurt Loder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Riddle Me This was really my college experimental party band, because I was learning so much about different styles of music, and I was meeting all these neat people. So I knew I needed a laboratory to test these things I was learning.
Yeah.
And Carl Finch from Brave Combo was a good early on, kind of a mentor to me.
Really?
I had ended up being on this Denton Discovery CD, and then I had written him a letter, and then he called me back, and we got together. And I think in that little conversation I had with him, 20 years ago, it saved me about 7 years of messing around in the music business.
Really?
I remember one of the first things he told me is, get your album mastered right.
Yeah, yeah.
And get it mastered by Bernie Grundman in Los Angeles. Carl told me to do that. Still to this day, that's the wisest thing anybody ever told me to do. I just had that song mastered by him. And it just makes the difference between all the little things that, in the mix, where the voice is, where the drums are. And it makes it sound authentic and real. And it's a very important step. And that was kind of my first thing with Riddle Me This, was I was learning all these things and I needed a place to put them.
Yeah.
And whenever nobody ever calls when you're not doing anything. So we were doing a lot of stuff in that band, and my lawyer at the time was a guy named Russell Raines in Austin, and we were starting to do what they call interstate commerce, where we would play outside of Texas. And so Rusty said, Well, you need to trademark your logo outside of Texas. So the next step is to get a federal trademark. So we did that, and when you do that, you know, most big law firms that work for record companies and corporations have interns that their job is just to comb through these trademark journals and look for anything that's remotely similar to whatever they think they're trying to protect. And what they'll do is they'll send you a letter that says, hey, it's usually like, not a cease and desist letter, but it's like something where it's kind of like, hey, you know, we have this and we think there's a likelihood of confusion. And most bands just walk away and change their name because they don't want to mess with it. But, you know, I'm not like that. I grew up watching Larry Bird, so I have a very competitive nature to me. And I also don't like corporations too much, so that was just not going to work out. So I ended up fighting it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were mistaken about that. They thought it was a lawsuit. There was never a lawsuit.
Yeah.
What that was they filed a notice of opposition to my trademark, and they kept, over the years, doing these little things to try to get a deposition or a hearing and try to basically get me to spend money.
Yeah.
See, that's the way you lose those deals, is if you try to fight them with money. I
Yeah.
can't outspend them.
Yeah.
So we did as a little simpler strategy. We just would always fax a one-page letter every time they wanted to file a motion for something. We would say, we respect the opinion of the TTAB, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, and we respectfully await their decision. We just waited it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was 11, 13 years, and then they finally settled with me to get me to go away. And
Really?
it was cool. I mean, you know, I was happy with it because I was, at that point, I had outgrown Riddle Me This, and it was time for me to be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a great learning process, and
Yeah.
toughened me up a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure dealing with the big corporations and lawyers. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I remember going to one of the meetings downtown, and I purposely sat in the chair that a president would sit in. It was all the lawyers from Warner Brothers, all my guys, and I sat right here and looked out at them. All right, what are we going to do? Because I wanted to send them a message, body language-wise, too, that I'm not budging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loved it. It was
Yeah,
fun.
that's great.
I'd do it again if I could.
Yeah. That's the way to do it for sure.
It is. I really do. I think you got to embrace the ugly baby and grab life by the horns to have fun in life, you know.
Yeah.
An easy life teaches nothing.
No, that's for sure.
know,
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our trials and tribulations make us stronger for
They
sure.
do.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
do. Good old
yeah.
advice from Grandma. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah. So you guys had a website, and I was reading the Wikipedia, but the website, and Aaron Penland was doing the video work for the website. Is that right?
Yeah,
And-
Aaron is you know, besides being a really great graphic artist, he was also kind of a guy that was into animation. And at the time, you know, I was one of the first bands that I knew of that got on the internet and started messing around with all that stuff. And at the time, you know, everybody was building websites out of Flash. And now that you look at it, you know, it takes forever to download.
Yeah.
And the internet was slow back then. So it wasn't the best idea to have these really great looking websites that took forever to load.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when people want to go to your site, they want to hear your music and they want to read about what you're doing.
Yeah, quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I like the way the web is now with WordPress and things where we can simply do it and it's not so fancy. But at the time we were always doing cool stuff. So Aaron had the idea of making that animation for the Cow Song, which was a song I had written to make an ex-girlfriend of mine laugh. It was just kind of a joke. And that ended up going viral on the internet. And at the time, it's a shame, but you know, you couldn't make money at the time. When something went viral, you got charged for it. I got sent a bill for over $3,000
Really?
for exceeding my bandwidth for 1 month. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay this, you know. And I got into a big, because they had my credit card. It was like
Oh,
$40
yeah.
a month, you know, that was supposed to be for the.
Yeah.
For the-
monthly.
Well, 1 month they charged $3,000 on my card, and I got into a big old feud with Citibank about why you to prove that, you know, and all this stuff. But it was a good lesson too, because now, you know, if you had something go viral like that on the internet, you actually get paid for it. You know, YouTube's monetized. You can get all kinds of traffic on the internet and get paid for it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that wasn't so much the case in 1996.
Yeah, yeah, things have really evolved a lot.
They have.
Yeah. The internet is, I guess, one of the most complex things we've created, but it's had to evolve and still evolving. I mean, what do you think the future of it is, possibly?
Well, I would encourage people to get off of the internet and get out into the real world and go see shows. And
Yeah.
One thing I found with Facebook and a lot of this stuff, I did an experiment one time where I promoted a show only on Facebook.
Really?
and MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace is an ancient civilization now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I read the other day an internet archaeologist discovered this ancient civilization called MySpace, where people used to go and talk to each other. But it's like Pompeii now. You know, it's been buried under the internet. And so now when you go to Facebook, you kind of see the same thing, but it's a way of everybody keeping tabs on each other. It's a tool, and you can use it to promote, but people ought to leave their houses because, you know, I started doing the thing where I would call people and send tangible 4x6 card and invite them to the show.
Yeah.
And the difference is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because on Facebook, everybody knows what you're doing, but there's no impetus. Imagine having a wedding and inviting everybody on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure
You know,
people have done that.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was still when somebody has an invitation
Oh, yeah.
in their hand from you, it's more personable, you know, or
Yeah.
they heard about it word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is still a very powerful thing.
Yeah, it always
Especially
will
in
be.
music business.
Yeah.
We were talking about there's an artist. What was her name with the jelly beans? Have you seen that video? The girl, she played at the Kessler recently. She made her own video with all jelly beans in the background, and it went viral. And she's got a tour going on now and stuff. It's really neat.
Really?
That's an internet kind of. I think
have
that's
to-
the positive side of the internet. Is the same hope we have with this video. Is, you know, you can use it as a promotional tool to get to the whole world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I still think people should go out and see live shows and go down to Dan's and
Yeah.
you know, really see what's going on in person.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I enjoy doing all that when I have the money and time. I was reading about your influences and Alan Holdsworth. Have we talked about him a little today, or you?
Yeah, Alan is a really great guitar player who is kind of a guitarist.
Yeah,
You know, and I always had a little bit of like 6 degrees of separation with, I knew people who knew him, and I was always, it's a weird thing with my life, but when I was a kid, I used to go over these certain people's albums with a fine-tooth comb, all these guitar players. And the first one was a guitarist from Sweden named Yngwie Malmsteen.
yeah,
And what I learned from him was how to be unique, you know, because the one thing that about Yngwie when he came along is he was doing what no one else was doing. He
Yeah.
found out what everybody else was doing, and he did the exact opposite. He was trying to get his guitar to sound like a classical violin, like Niccolo Paganini. So when he came out with that style, there was zero competition.
yeah,
You know, and I remember seeing him in Houston at 16 years old, and his club packed, just sold out, 2 shows, 5 encores. And I walked away from there that day. I knew what I would do with the rest of my life. I said, wow, man, look at that, you know. So a long time ago, I got it in my head that it's a lot better to be unique and have a unique selling point. You know, that's what makes anything work.
yeah,
Whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Yngwie Malmsteen, whether it's you know, Brave Combo, just basically don't do what everybody else is doing.
yeah, yeah. There's
What's
such
the- we say in the music business, everybody's hip, and that's not cool. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
You look at grunge. You know, everybody's got a flannel shirt or whatever's popular now or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
and that gets to a point where, I know dubstep is a popular style of
yeah. I hear a lot of talk
electronic
about
music.
That. Yeah,
But I recently saw that Justin Bieber, who's a talented kid, I'm not hating on that guy, but I saw that he's doing a dubstep album. And I guarantee you that'll seal the tomb of
Yeah.
dubstep underground, because they're
Yeah.
all going to go, oh no, now
Oh,
he's
yeah.
doing that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's always cool to kind of look inward, I think.
yeah,
It's not easy
yeah.
because, you know, you're going to get challenged if you go do what you
Oh,
want to
yeah,
do.
Yeah, especially at first. Yeah,
Ever,
A
and
lot
that's
of
why
opposition, yeah.
bring this back to around to Alan Holdsworth. I think that's what everybody in the guitar community and the music community respects about him, is he has done everything possible, and I don't even know if it was conscious, maybe Alan could tell you, but to just make it impossible to copy him.
Yeah,
You know, he's just the most unique musician I've ever heard.
and he was involved with the Frank Zappa group of people.
Well, Frank
somehow.
Zappa was a big fan of his.
Yeah.
You know, and so as is Eddie Van Halen, I am. Yngwie loves Alan. Everybody loves Alan because of that.
And he played with you at the Kessler here recently.
Yeah, I did a song called Everyone Knows My Drinking, No One Knows My Thirst, kind of based on an Irish aphorism that I like. And then I had Alan play a guitar solo in there, and he did a wonderful job. I can get you a copy of the track if you'd like to play it. It's really, really awesome little tune. And that was a dream come true for me, too. So I always got into my mind whoever I wanted to meet, and it just happens. It's the weirdest thing. You know, you'll think about somebody, and you think about it enough, and I think the subconscious takes over.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I've met every one of my favorite guitar players, and many of them went on to become friends with.
Yeah.
And I believe in that.
Yeah, that's great. I think so too. I think we can create our future just by dreaming of it and just pushing ourselves toward it.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, yeah,
I would completely agree with you on that.
yeah, yeah.
That's why, you know, be careful what you wish for, you might get it.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of the rappers, and I'm not hating on the hip hop community either, but, you know, that sang about, you know, getting shot. And then they get shot.
Yeah,
And it's like, look, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
You know, I see it. And it's just,
they ask for it.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, Eric, I appreciate you being here very much, and we're going to have Eric's video, and Eric's going to play some songs for us here this morning. And stay tuned, and please continue to watch the show and tell folks about it, and check out Eric Keys on the internet.
This is a little tune called Allure, and it kind of encompasses some of the stuff I like about Latin music, and kind of influenced by one of my favorite guitar players, a guy named Al Di Meola. It's a song I wrote a few years ago. Sleep I am in, and eyes like the heart and the beat of the words that I sing. Drunk with intention, you fall and my heart pulls you in. When I come inside of your walls, you will see what I mean. Tell me how does it feel? Close your eyes, this is real, this is real. Spell them so magic, spun by the sound that I bring. Come bring your thirst from a rainfall of love we will drink. The eyes like the heart and the words of the beat that I sing. When I come inside of your walls, you will know what I mean. Tell me how does it feel? Close your eyes, this is real. Tell me how does it feel? Close your eyes, this is real, this is real. That's called Allure. Okay, this is the song that I wrote called Words of a Song, and it's the same one that we're going to show in the music video. And I wrote this song about no matter where you are in life and what's going on and what you're going through, it's going to be okay. You know, I really liked what Brian Warner, Marilyn Manson, said to whoever the guy is that made that movie, Fahrenheit 9/11, where he said, what would you have said to those two kids, Eric and Dylan, that shot up everybody at Columbine? He says, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have listened to them. I thought that was very brilliant advice. And I was in Hawaii a few years ago, and I went to the grave of Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell was an amazing person who wrote a series or a book called The Power of Myth. And this song is kind of a culmination of everything that I learned from him. You know, it's about where we are inside of what we feel, and it's always found in music. When people sing, I will dance into the earth in a trance. I travel far and emerge in the words of a song. When you arrive at this place and stare God in the face, you will find who you are in the words of a song. I have loved and have lost, and in my pain borne the cross. And I have seen no greater cure than the words of a song. As above, so below, in the depths of my soul, I return to the earth in the words of a song. When you are alone and the world is your stage, what will you sing in your song? One who would be master is the servant of a song. You will find your answer in a song. Whoa, free to walk away, free to walk away, free to walk away. Whoa, free to walk away. When people sing, I will dance into the earth in a trance. I travel far and emerge in the words of a song. When you arrive
Master God in the first, you will find who you are in the words of a song. I have loved and have lost, and in my pain bore the cross. I have seen no greater cure than the words of a song. As above, so below, in the depths of my soul, I return to the earth in the words of a song. When you are alone and the world is your stage, what will you sing in your song? The one who would be master is the servant of a song. You will find your answer in a song. Oh, free to walk away, free to walk away, free to walk away. Free to walk away, free to walk away, free to walk
And they tell me, follow your dreams.